Okay, welcome back. We're on 556 talking about link popularity and how you can check to see how many people are linking to your website. And so you may be surprised. You may go out there and go, why on earth are they linking to me? Not that it's a bad idea, but you might want to just check it out and see. Okay. The next thing to talk about is social media optimization. I'm going to skip over an awful lot of that, but we're talking about, Facebook and LinkedIn and blogs and RSS feeds. Maybe you have people like YouTube videos that either the video points to your website or your website points to a video. That's kind of cool. A lot of my stuff comes from a tech support site. I spend time out on this thing called answers.microsoft.com answering questions. And so this particular website gets tons and tons and tons of me going out answering questions, and about every 10 questions or so I'm going to refer them back to my website for some additional information or some software or something. So an awful lot of my content comes from not exactly social media, but it comes from other non-traditional forces. So a tech support website pointing to my webpage as an example. Cool. All right, on page 557, they talk about other site promotion things. One is this QR code. If you're doing with print media, you could go in here and type in a web page, for example, http://www.emmongray.com. Okay, cool. And then you say, I want to build it. Where's the build it? Okay, here it is. That. Yikes. This right here is, I'm not going to download it, but that is a QR code. QR code is quick, what's the R stand for? Quick response. It's a two-dimensional barcode. So you type in a URL or a video or an image or a PDF, all these things, and it'll do this thing, and you could copy and paste this and put this on a billboard or a bus sign or whatever, and anybody with a phone can go, and it'll launch directly to your web page. So how useful is that in your in your strategy? Quite frankly, talk to your SEO professional, and they'll tell you whether or not you need to go to print media. Okay. So once again, print media, typically people don't like to type URLs, so QR code is a hell of a lot better than typing, particularly if it's really, really long URL or difficult to spell words. All the I before E except after C kind of stuff. Don't pick words that people traditionally misspell. Affiliate program. So this is sort of like link sharing. For example, now we're kind of talking the opposite side of the advertising. Instead of me paying for advertising, now if I put a link to Amazon on my page, I get paid from Amazon. So now I'm making money off of advertising. Banner ads. Banner ads are kind of sort of similar. It's a group of people get together and I have a company that I subscribe to, and the company basically says, here's how big the banner ad's going to be, so make it fit on your webpage. And then they provide content. And the content's going to rotate out, just like commercials on TV. You don't get the same commercial over and over and over, do you? So every time you go to your website, it'll be another ad and a different ad and a different ad over and over and over. So just using a spot on your webpage for them to put ads into your webpage. And this is how a lot of people make money. I mean, if I have a website that, on cat videos, I mean, I'm not selling anything at all. And so this costs me money, takes time and energy, and so I'm expecting to get a little revenue off of this website. And you do that with banner ads. Okay. There's a thing called a banner exchange, and the idea is that I'll put a banner ad on your website, you put a banner ad on my website, right? Reciprocal agreement, so there's no money involved. I'm not making money, and they're not making money. It's a win-win, don't get me wrong. Everyone wins on a banner exchange. I'm just saying you don't get any revenue. Reciprocal link agreement, essentially the same thing. I put a link to your webpage, you put a link to mine, those kind of things. And then, of course, newsletters. You may have, newsletters and blogs, and a lot places, for example, if I go to a website and I subscribe to a newsletter, they're going to get my email address, and so I'm going to be firing stuff off to them, hopefully not spam. Hey, content has changed on your favorite website. Go take a peek, that kind of stuff. Well, there's a thing called sticky sites. And sticky sites basically are some way to get you to come back to the website, primarily by having content that is constantly changing. So the concept is very similar to a banner ad, except having a banner ad, maybe you're interested in, German Shepherds, and so it's an article that appears and it gets replaced like every day. There's something relevant to dog owners, okay? Similar to a banner ad, but it's just content. And so that forces you, doesn't force you to do anything. That encourages you to go back to the website over and over and over and over because the content is constantly changing. You, as the web owner, don't have to write any of that content at all because you set these things up, and so you subscribe to some dog lovers kind of a thing, and they just provide content to you once a day. Cool? All right. Personal recommendations, there's always one of those, send this link to a friend kind of thing, right? Okay. News groups, that's kind of what I described on that tech support website, like news groups. Posting of articles, and you can mention your website or provide a link to it. And then, of course, you got the traditional, print media, and newspaper, and TV and radio, those kind of things. Again, a lot of people don't like to type, so QR code. I've never tried to do a QR code off the TV screen, but I would suspect that it would work. Okay, and then, out of the clear blue, as if we didn't have anything else to do, they stop talking about that and says, hey, let's talk about an inline frame. And you're going, what? Okay. So I'm going to fire up good old Visual Studio here, and we're going to make us a start over from scratch. Now, while this is coming up, I want to show you something kind of cool. I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. In fact, I'm going to close all these guys because I got way too many. Whoop. I thought there was a close all. There you go. Good. All right. So I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. Come on, behave. And of course, I'm going to have to sign in, so give me just a second to get there. In fact, I'm gonna do some magic here with the video. Okay, so I'm actually in there. So now basically what I want to do is I want to go in and look at my stuff, which you would think would be okay. So I'm going to go to the video manager. I'm going to pick up a video. It doesn't matter which one it is. Here we go. Cool. Now, one of the things you can do, I'm going to stop the video because I don't need to be running. It's this thing down here called share. When you click on share, it's going to basically say, this is how you can send other people to your website with a link, or here's how you can do it with an inline frame. Oops, sorry. And so it actually writes the HTML code for you. You don't have to do anything at all. So for example, I'm doing a Control-C. Cool. I go back to here. I go file, get me a page up and running. And same old, the way we always do. La-da-da-da-da. I should have had this up and running beforehand, huh? Takes it just a few seconds to come up. So I want to add an HTML page. I'll leave it at the name because I don't care. And finally, I get here and I say, please watch, if I can spell, this video. And then basically, since I've got this thing in my paste buffer, thunk. That's all I have to do. I didn't have to write any code whatsoever. It produced the iframe line for me. So it produced the iframe with the width and the height, and the source, the direct source to that particular thing, whether or not I wanted to frame and allow full screen, all the rest of these things. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this in my browser, and we'll give it just a second. So here's the fundamental question. When I click on this link, am I getting that content from my web page, or am I getting that content from YouTube? Well, it should be fairly obvious. I did not copy the video. That video is huge. That video is probably 20 or 30 megabytes. I did not copy the video. What I've done is I've embedded basically a link to another website. So it appears as if this video is on my web page. It's not, but it looks like it is, acts like it is. And when you play this, it's actually launching YouTube. We're still on page 525. Okay, that kind of makes sense. So that sounds like a test question to you guys on where the heck is the content coming from when you use an iframe? Okay, good. Anyway, I kind of like the idea of YouTube making this incredibly easy. I mean, obviously, if you're not using YouTube, you would actually have to type in the iframe, the whole thing. But just YouTube makes it incredibly easy for you to do iframes because they write the code for you. Kind of cool. Okay, I told you this was going to be a short chapter, and so we'll see you guys again in some other chapter.